It's all correct. Let's go here. Go here. All right. Dad Rabbit, how you doing, buddy? Yo, I just came from a podcast, man. Another podcast. It was a good time, man. You know, dude, this guy knows everything. Can I search for vulnerable? I need to see if I can find a way to apply vulnerable. Let's try this.
Rax Jam.
This dead rabbit guy, he's a god. Are you excited for PoE 2, man? Hi Darius, hi Maxim, hi Spoons, hi Gaup, hi Pro, hi Kevin, hi Honey Badger, hi Dime. What's up, guys? What is this? Holy. Settle down, Satan. When's the D4 thing coming out? The expansion? The expansion's in 7 days, but there's a big presentation in 2 days. Am I addicted to D4? I am not addicted to D4. I am not addicted to D4. Are you addicted to D4? You're doing Last Epoch? Oh yeah, the Shadowrend thing is god tier. Ow, I got feared. Man, these guys are powerful. Oh, I'm playing on Penitent. I didn't even realize. Oh, I'm playing on Penitent. Oh. That makes more sense. I was like, wow, these guys are actual gods. Hold on, guys. I'm getting my ass kicked real quick. Hi, call me. Do I sound a little sick? For some reason, I got like no sleep last night. I couldn't sleep. I don't know why. But I wouldn't say that I feel sick. Okay, this guy's taking way too long to kill. Yes. There's a great build to make a one-button paladin build. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want to look at for sure. Right now I'm trying to think about making a leveling build which requires nothing, right? With no special powers. Might make a paladin build and a warlock build for people. I think those are the two classes that people are going to be the most interested in. Ow! My God! Ow. I probably shouldn't be on Penitent. But I can do it, actually. So I'm thinking about, what do you guys think? I'm thinking about taking Fanaticism Aura and going triple Aura, but I'm also wondering if we should get an ultimate. Do we just go triple Aura or what? Aren't they all going to change soon? Yes, they will. We go Aura here. Maybe. The Warlock looks insane for charms. Did I see Ghazzy's review? Ghazzy's review of what? Tomb Lord is going to be in the expansion? He better be. He's the main character. Oh, wait, Ghazzy reviewed the expansion? Oh. Oh, there's a bunch of videos that came out? Oh, No, I didn't know this was the thing. Have a good one, Vince. GG's. There are press release videos. Oh. So people have already played through the entire expansion? Should we stop playing and just watch videos and see what people said? Okay, well, let's watch the videos then. Okay, let's see what we can find here. All right. I'll just search for Diablo 4. Let's see what comes up. There's a review from IGN. Okay. I guess let's just start with that one.
After 2024's Vessel of Hatred
how's the
expansion
volume, guys?
left me dangling off a narrative cliff like a hapless sanctuary peasant, Lord of Hatred had quite a lot riding on its ability to deliver on that momentum.
How's the volume, guys?
Darken the world no longer.
And give me a reason to become hopelessly lost in its loop-filled grind once again. The good news is that it's done exactly that, thanks to a tight, satisfying campaign, 2 new classes that I've already spent dozens of hours experimenting with and min-maxing builds for, and an endgame that's so loaded with things to do that I occasionally forgot some of the systems even existed. If you've been waiting for a reason to dive back into Diablo 4's particular brand of misery, Lord of Hatred has plenty of compelling reasons to do so.
I barely knew you existed until today. But now you've stepped onto my stage, and you thought there would be no consequences.
As a proper end to the demonic battle that's been building since 2023, Lord of Hatred's cutscenes are unsurprisingly jaw-dropping, but it's the writing and pacing of this short and sweet 8-ish hour campaign that stands as some of Blizzard's best work yet. It had me on the edge of my seat from beginning to end, with all sorts of twists, turns, and tragedies, references to deep Diablo lore, and motivations for even its most irredeemable characters that had me debating demon philosophy with my friends in party chat as we smashed our way through gobs of imps.
My queen, let him walk free, so that all who look upon him will be reminded of what hate can do.
Sure, the campaign is only a tiny part of the inevitable hundreds of hours that will be spent mindlessly exploding loot goblins into sparkly treasures, but part of the reason I'm so attached to this depressing and violent world is precisely because of the mysteries, drama, and unforgettable characters that occupy it. Lord of Hatred takes full advantage of all of those things, making it easily one of my favorite Diablo campaigns to date. That campaign primarily takes place in Sanctuary's latest locale, Skovos, a Mediterranean-style island that plays an especially interesting role in Diablo's lore as the birthplace of humanity. This new region has many of the things we've come to expect from the series, like an incredibly alarming human to horrifying monster ratio, and destroyed places that are covered in disgusting fleshy blisters, and whatever the heck a corpse clot is. But plenty of things here are a breath of fresh air too, namely beautiful and not yet destroyed areas that reflect the fact that this ancient place has been spared the worst of the horrors the mainland has faced all these years. The region has also got lots of diversity to it, from Lovecraftian-coded foggy shorelines to volcanic hellscapes, each adding new reasons to keep on trekking around in search of loot. Skovos isn't nearly as densely filled with new dungeons as the mainland of Sanctuary, but the stuff that is there, especially the new strongholds to conquer, are well worth doing.
There, we've reclaimed the courtyard.
Aside from the finale to the story and some new places to explore, Lord of Hatred also introduces 2 very cool character classes to shake things up. The returning Paladin is about what you'd expect if you journeyed across Sanctuary as one in Diablo 2, with loads of protection abilities and ridiculously powerful build options like the Aura build my co-op mate designed so he could just walk around destroying everything in his path without even having to lift a finger. The Warlock, on the other hand, is completely new to the series, not counting Diablo 2 having recently retroactively added it for the 30th anniversary, of course, which has you claiming Hell's Power as your own in a wide variety of diverse builds. That ranges from the Necromancer-like Legion options, they're all about summoning demons to do your fighting for you, to the Vanguard build that turns you into a demon yourself, for those who prefer a more personal touch to their wanton destruction. The Paladin is pure nostalgic comfort food that I'm glad to have added to the roster, but I prefer the new hotness of the Warlock, especially just how diverse you can get with it by going down each of the 4 disciplines or by mixing and matching them together to create something unexpected. What's even bigger than these 2 new skill trees, though, is that the 6 already available have been completely reworked. The changes are mostly centered around the fact that instead of having a bunch of highly attractive passive perks that did simple yet incredibly efficient things like increasing the damage you deal or the attacks you can withstand, they're now built around making more meaningful choices. For example, in the Warlock tree, you can pick between making your defensive wall of demons encircle your enemy, trapping them within, or breaking apart into a pack of vicious sluggers after a period. As the Sorceress, you can now decide to take your Fire Hydra snakes and turn them into Ice snakes instead, if that elemental effect is more your speed, or if it works better with whatever mad scientist build you're concocting. These changes are really awesome, as they push you away from picking.
So I do think that this setup is better than what we had, for sure. But does anybody notice something about how this system actually works? Like it definitely looks cool. Exactly. It's Diablo 3's system. If you've never played Vessel of Hatred, do you need to do it before being able to access the new expansion? I doubt it, Sam. If you buy the new expansion, guys, do you get the other expansion with it? I would imagine that I think they're lumped together. Yeah, they're lumped together. So if you just buy the new one, you'll get both of them on the launch. So in Diablo 3, you pick the skill Hydra, right? And then you pick the rune. Do you want Fire Hydra? Do you want Poison Hydra? Do you want Ice Hydra? Do you want Mammoth Hydra? Da-da-da-da-da. So this system in Diablo 4, while it is better than what they had, and they have all these different branches with all these different choices now, it's better, but it's just Diablo 3.
The boring, passive upgrades and instead help your character feel much more unique, even when playing alongside those using your same character class. Still, there's also plenty of fat to cut, like how skills now allow you to sink up to 15 points into them versus the previous 5.
Darius,
After you've picked your base skills and modified them to your liking, the rest of the leveling experience is pretty much just deciding which ones to focus your points into, recreating a lot of the same uninteresting decisions we were making with the previous trees. I still like the changes they've made here, especially the added freedom to augment how those powers work in more meaningful ways, but I do wish they'd have gone a bit further in that direction. Once you've bested the campaign and maxed out your character level, you'll quickly find yourself in the all-important endgame loop, which involves navigating an absolutely staggering number of upgrade mechanics, the gathering materials you'll need to farm for them, as well as scooping up the best gear you can find and obsessing over every little stat they rolled.
Staggering number of...
This is the crux of the Diablo experience, and Lord of Hatred is its most dense, meticulously customizable version yet. That means you'll have to contend with truly some of the most obscenely complicated menus around, which have only grown more cumbersome over the years. But you're in for a relentlessly rewarding ride if you go through the trouble of learning it all. Having been along for that ride from the start, I love obsessing over every little detail and finding tons of ways to maximize my lethality. Finally finding a piece of gear that perfectly fits your build, or saving up enough materials to reroll a stat that gives you that extra DPS you need to break through to the next world tier is exactly what chunky ARPGs like this one are all about. rolling into an endgame activity to watch all your careful preparation and planning turn into you roll tier materials, finding over every learning it all. Having been along for that ride from the start, I love obsessing over every little detail and finding tons of ways to maximize my lethality. Finally,
tons of ways to maximize it. Okay, now he's going to describe the ways that he maximizes it.
Finding a piece of gear that perfectly fits your build, or saving up enough materials to reroll a stat.
So when you get the gear, like other than like a unique or a mythic unique, don't you get the legendary powers pretty quickly? And then you just upgrade the magnitude of that power, right? Like you get those almost immediately.
Gear that perfectly fits your build, or saving up enough materials to reroll a stat that gives you that extra DPS you need to break through to the next world.
Getting enough materials to re-roll one stat? Don't you re-roll one stat like instantly on everything?
Tier is exactly what chunky ARPGs like this one are all about.
Not
rolling
anymore.
into an endgame activity to watch all your careful preparation and planning turn into you absolutely stomping all over enemies and melting the boss in half a second is downright awesome.
I'm asking honestly, I'm not even trying to be negative, I'm trying to understand.
Plenty of runway with 12 tiers of endgame difficulty, up from just 4 previously, is just insane. The latest addition to that min-maxing meta is the Talisman system, which allows you to collect magical runes that slot into yet another loadout menu. The latest addition to that min-maxing meta is the Talisman system, which allows you to collect magical runes that slot into yet another loadout menu. Practically speaking, this is a clever way of offering set bonuses that are usually found on specific armor sets. Except here, you can use whatever armor you want, while talismans stand on their own. It took me a while to wrap my head around it, honestly, just because I'm so used to the entire idea of a set bonus being a reward for collecting and sporting armor pieces that belong together, but decoupling the need to use specific pieces of equipment ends up being a pretty smart move. Though it does add another thing to optimize and obsess over, and frankly, Diablo 4 already has so many of those being a reward my head around. You can use whatever armor you want, while talismans stand on their own. It took me a while to wrap my head around it, honestly, just because I'm so used to the entire idea of a set bonus being a reward for collecting and sporting armor pieces that belong together, but decoupling the need to use specific pieces of equipment ends up being a pretty smart move. Though it does add another thing to optimize and obsess over, and frankly, Diablo 4 already has so many of those that I sometimes forgot about talismans altogether.
I mean, so I'm just trying to I guess I'm trying to understand. I guess if we give him the benefit of the doubt, he's telling the truth, right? But he's saying there's so many systems in Diablo 4 that you forgot about talismans. And he said, it's a crazy change to have set bonuses instead of being on gear, being in talismans. Like, I guess I'm just trying to understand what is so crazy about that. You just put it in the other window.
Still, they're a neat addition, and I'm glad they exist, especially since it gave me another thing to squeeze a few extra stats out of. That's always welcome. There's also the Horadric Cube, a nifty magical device that does everything from turn.
Add affix, chaotic reroll, focused reroll, remove an affix, transfigure an item, unique power reroll. Okay. This is cool. Recycle a unique, upgrade something to a unique, upgrade something to a legendary. Okay. Okay, this is something.
Turning common items into uniques to adding
Wait, what was that? Go back.
magic
Chooses a random affix to another one of another category. Okay.
device that does everything.
This seems very, very powerful to be able to roll the uniques. Divine Orb.
From turning common items into uniques to adding yet another stat boost to your best masterworked gear at the cost of locking it out of any and all future augmentation. After spending hours tinkering around with this thing,
all of it locks it out?
Another stat boost to your best masterworked gear at the cost of locking it out of any and all future augmentation. After spending hours tinkering around with this thing, I still feel like I've barely scratched the surface with all it can do. But it's already quite the game changer, offering numerous new ways to squeeze even more power out of all that grinding you did. Combined with the loot filter, which allows you to target specific items with specific affixes as you continue your climb toward ever greater power, the endgame journey has fewer annoyances than ever before.
Hey,
now you
this
can
loot filter
create
looks
rules
like
to
last
automatically
Epoch.
filter through the loot you earn down to the most minute details, removing the need to sift through all the junk you don't need, so long as you have the strength of will to figure out how to configure those rules to your exact specifications. Speaking of the endgame grind, Lord of Hatred takes yet another stab at providing a more compelling laundry
only
list of
25
activities to
rules?
engage with while you carry out that search for loot. To be fair, I also praised Diablo 4 Vanilla's endgame based on my pre-release review time with it, but the benefit of hindsight and a couple more weeks of playtime on the live servers ultimately saw it wear pretty thin shortly thereafter, so it's hard to say for sure whether or not this attempt will fare any better after a few months. What I can say
I'm
is
gonna go back. What did he? I'm
the live
I wasn't paying attention to what he said.
To be fair, I also praised Diablo 4 Vanilla's endgame based on my pre-release review time with it, but the benefit of hindsight and a couple more weeks of playtime on the live servers ultimately saw it wear pretty thin shortly thereafter, so it's hard to say for sure whether or not this attempt will fare any better after a few months. What I can say is that the system Blizzard built in this version has the least friction and the greatest variety of things to do so far, and the dozens of hours I've spent with it have been really enjoyable.
The endgame system has the least friction? Isn't that exactly what we need in the game? Friction? I thought this game has this version has the least friction? I thought we were hoping for friction. It got easier? Maybe that's not what he meant. Maybe that's not what he meant.
Tool Lord of Hatred uses to get you into that long road of grinding is called War Plans, which works like a curated playlist of activities that you're directed to one after another, all of which offer compelling rewards. The best part of this is just how easy it is to jump from activity to activity, since you no longer need to hunt for Nightmare Dungeon keys or manually walk over to Helltide events. You can now teleport to the next activity on your playlist in a matter of seconds and keep the good times rolling.
I hope whatever's here puts up a good fight.
One moment you'll be blasting your way through the pit, the next you'll jump over to go stomp out a lair boss, before returning to the war table to collect a batch of rewards. As you progress, these trees will offer more branching paths for you to pick from, and will start offering modified versions of these events that target specific rewards. Even cooler are the new perk trees associated with each of the endgame activities included in War Plans, which allow you to modify how these events work and let you customize your loot for doing so. Again, it's still hard to say whether or not this and let you customize your
Yo.
loot.
Go back. I saw like they showed, I can't remember where it was, like in the partner Discord or something. They showed a really alpha version of the Horadric cube. And when I saw it, it was like this. It was this like tiny little cube, right? Just sitting above it. And that was it. It was like this brown tiny cube, like maybe this big, sitting at the top of this altar. I saw this a while ago. And I was like, guys, I don't know if this is shit feedback or not, but you're literally adding the Horadric cube, one of the most iconic items ever in Diablo's history. Like, when I see this thing, it needs to be the most epic, majestic, godly thing. It's got to be like the talk of the town kind of thing. And so now if we look at it,
pick from, and we'll start offering modified versions of these events that target specific
looks so
rewards.
much better.
Even cooler are the new perk trees
now
associated with
it's got
each
a
of the
purple
endgame
glow. It
activities
expands.
included in war
It
plans,
has
which
an
allow you to
animation.
modify how these events work.
I
and let you
mean, this is
customize
way
your
better
loot
than
for
what I
doing
saw
so.
before.
Again, it's still hard to
Way
say
better.
whether or not this will have legs after we've been running war
I was
plans
like,
for a
guys,
few seasons.
that can't
but I
be
like
the
their
cube.
chances of keeping my
That
attention,
that
or at
cube's
least not
kinda
annoying
cool.
me with weird barriers to entry just to run these
I was like,
activities.
guys, there's no way that's the cube.
That said, though the premise of the entire
Yeah, this is the way better one. You should have seen the other one.
headache of accessing endgame content, it has a pretty fatal flaw in how it works when you're playing with friends. Since your War Plans playlist is randomized each time you run it, and your friends each have their own specific things to tackle in their own orders that are unlikely to align with yours, if you're tagging along with a buddy to run through them, you'll almost instantly feel like a second-class citizen when you see a fragment of the rewards they get. You still get credit for tackling these activities, including loot at the end of each bested challenge and some XP to go towards your various war plan skill trees, but your actual progress toward your own war plan will only advance if your next activity just so happens to align with theirs. When I wasn't the party leader picking the next activity, I felt like I was wasting my time and playing inefficiently by not making progress on my own playlist. And when I was the party leader making the picks, I felt guilty that my co-op buddies weren't seeing the same level of progress as me. It's one of those small details that completely undermines an otherwise good thing and weirdly disincentivizes even doing war plans in co-op altogether, since it's more efficient to just work on your own playlists in parallel. Truly a massive oversight that will hopefully get corrected in short order. The other major endgame activity is Echoing Hatred, effectively a horde mode that throws every enemy it can find at you and asks you to withstand the onslaught for as long as you're able.
So this is actually, I haven't seen this. This is exactly the Diablo 3 one. It's even the same map. This is the Diablo 3 map with the same 4 pylons. It even has the same name, except for instead of Echoing Nightmare, it's Echoing Hatred. It's actually, it's actually copied. It's the same thing.
It starts out at the lowest world tier difficulty, then climbs as you push through waves of enemies until it inevitably reaches absurd levels of challenge that lead to your inevitable loss and rewards you relative to how well you performed. Interestingly, access to this activity is locked behind a fairly rare, at least in my experience, consumable drop you'll need to get every time you want to test your mettle. But this mindless, brutally challenging marathon is exactly the type of
The new mechanic that they put in here, which is this is an objective statement. It's not even subjective. It is actually completely copied. It's even the same map. The boss that they put in here was Tomb Lord. We're still using Tomb Lord for the expansion bosses in the new activity. It's Tomb Lord again.
Activity I love in ARPGs, and I also found it pretty useful as a way of gauging which world tier your current build is ready to withstand. It is a bit weird that so much of the endgame, specifically the warplane system, is about removing barriers to getting back into the endgame action, while Echoing Hatred appears to be a super fun mode you'll only get to play every once in a blue moon for whatever reason.
Well, the reason why is because if you can do every godly event all the time, then if you don't build any scarcity in your game, then there's no opportunity to feel great about when it drops, right?
Finally, Lord of Hatred adds the feature we've all been asking for, fishing. Don't be fooled by the tidal wave of apocalyptic monstrosities that surround you. Diablo 4 is a cozy game now. In between killing demon lords and being driven to the brink of madness by the horrors you've been forced to witness, you can pull out a fishing rod and just chill out, my friend. Frankly, there really isn't much to this bizarre minigame.
You can fish
You
in the
can
lava?
just fish for a bit in each region to complete your collection, and then have no reason to ever fish again, but it's kinda hilarious that they bothered to add this in at all, and as someone who loves dense ARPGs and relaxing cozy games in equal measure, it speaks to me personally.
I'm not even joking. You're going to think I'm trolling. I'm not. 100% serious. I actually think this looks like one of the most fun things to do in the game. It's not an insult to the other things in the game, but I will definitely fish. I'm actually going to fish. Not joking, seriously.
Here's hoping they add dating mechanics next. Blizzard, feel free to call me about this. I do have suggestions.
I gave my children a world.
Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred offers a wonderfully satisfying conclusion to the Mephisto saga, with one of my favorite Diablo stories yet, some really compelling changes to build crafting, 2 equally interesting new classes, and an endgame that seems primed to be more accessible and life-devouring than ever before. There are a few missteps here and there, like the completely lame way the new endgame handles co-op progression, or the fewer than expected reasons to explore Skovos beyond the campaign missions. But the vast majority of changes, improvements, and additions are enough to convince me to sink even more time into this incredibly dense ARPG. For more games...
Okay. He gave an 8 out of 10. I appreciate the review. Seems pretty favorable toward it. Let me see. Another one. So Ghazzy has a review. Let's watch Ghazzy's. I trust Ghazzy.
Hey guys, GhazzyTV here with a Diablo 4 video for the upcoming expansion, and the gameplay footage you'll see on the screen is actually exclusive footage for the press release that we've been given access to from Blizzard, to check it out. And I will try my best to avoid spoilers. I don't want to go too deep into details into this little video. Instead, I want to talk about essentially my general takes on the changes coming to the game and how it compares to the previous seasons we've seen since the launch of Diablo 4. Let's crack into it. D4 went from being this mega hyped up game to a very quickly fall flat on the ground, with a long list of bugs, glitches, issues, but most importantly, an extensive lack of interesting endgame and build diversity. It didn't take long before the words D4 bad echoed in every video and stream across the directory. Hell, even Quinn got a tattoo with a D4 bad on him. Every season launch since has basically always been trying to take a step in the right direction, including the last expansion. Some failed, as it felt like they kept taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Personally, I've been very active with keeping up my guides updated over at Icy Veins for both the Necromancer as well as the Spiritborn class. But with the new expansion around the corner, I will be writing the guides for both Necromancer and the new Warlock class instead of the Spiritborn. A big shout out to Garm, who's been helping me out with the Necromancer, and obviously for the Warlock, I'm teaming up with the one and only Cash LaRonde. You can find a link to his channel in the descriptions down below the video. Taking guides aside, I want to talk about my general take of the expansion and what you can expect. First off, there's a huge shift in build creation, where the sad state of the old skill twig is turning into a proper skill tree with actual options worth bothering and considering for your build's progression. The core mechanic of most, if not any build in the game comes online much sooner, and this is without having to farm for that one legendary aspect that never drops until you're way past early game. This is a direct result of build or skill defining features being available on the actual skill tree instead of aspects now. And this goes beyond and continues with itemization changes, as it's taken another huge leap in the terms of progression for the better, where they feel both more meaningful and impactful for your character's progression. Now, aspects in general are very rare in the early game, but provides a huge power spike, and it wouldn't be rare to find yourself in a torment difficulty with only a handful of aspects available. Speaking of itemization, your character's progression will look vastly different from previous seasons. For the vast majority of the early game, you can expect to be wearing literally just rare items, and craft any normal or magic ancestral item you can find to a usable state. Legendary items will finally be worthy of the name legendary, as they will provide a massive power spike unlike before, with affixes having the option of rolling actual damage multipliers. Unique items are changing drastically as well, and won't be the same for everyone, and will now offer crafting opportunities on them as well. Crafting is something...
So we won't actually know how it feels until we try it. So, okay, we need paint for this. Okay, we need paint. Let's open paint. Okay, so let's understand how the systems work, right? So here's old, and here's new. All right, so in the old way, this is your character, this is you guys, that's you. That's a sword. Okay. And you have two things. You have your skill twig. Okay. Skill twig. Make like 2 choices here or there. Yeah, that's you guys. And you make your final passive point. And then you have all of your gear. Now, this part over here, this part, the tree, is almost, currently, it's almost nothing. You want to know why? I can tell you exactly what you do on every build. The first thing you do is you max your skill. The next thing you do is you click every single damage thing that makes it do more damage. The third thing you do is you pick 1 or 2 defensive things or a cooldown, and then you pick your key passive that makes you do the most damage. This is the solution for 99% of builds. So this is just a formality where you really don't actually do anything, right? So the question is how do you actually get strong? Well, when you find the legendary that has the power that you actually need, and then you put the other power that you actually need on your amulet, and then on your gloves, and then on your 2 rings, now you're powerful. And then you get this unique, and you get this mythic unique. Really, all of your power comes from here, from these legendary powers. This is just all a formality, right? So another huge issue with the old Diablo 4 thing is everything hits for trillions and trillions and trillions of damage. Which, you know, it doesn't even, at a certain point, it doesn't even like make any sense, right? So now we go to the new thing, and all of these like generic increased damage thingies are gone. Instead, they moved the powers into the trees. So now you go in and you pick this, and it branches this way, and then it branches this way, and like this. Now you pick your fire hydra with 3 extra heads. That's what she said. And then yada, yada, yada. You almost pick your powers, which opens up the gear to have more meaningful like power. So there's an actual like progression here instead of just it's binary. You either have the thing that you want or you don't have it. Now we actually are going to kind of scale the gear where a lot of our power comes from actually building the passive tree. So I think this is better. It does need to be said, it is just D3. D3 is pick a skill and then pick the runes. It's a slight upgrade from what we were doing in D3. So Ghazzy is saying that the interesting thing is you can look for damage multipliers here, and that's fine. As long as somewhere along the way we solve the problem of doing, I'm afraid we're going to be doing quadrillions or quintillions of damage. So just to explain what Ghazzy is talking about and the actual phenomenon of the difference of the systems here. Where did the video go? Here. Epic Captain GT, thank you so much for the subs, guys.
Something you'll have available and affordable very early in the game. And is highly recommended, if not mandatory, to utilize this for your character's progression. This is a huge shift compared to the mindless, brain-off grind we've been so used to since the launch of D4, sitting permanently in different colored hell tides, barely touching crafting at all, and just kicking up in a swarm of loot and just equipping whatever has the higher item power. Endgame content is seeing some much appreciated love, which I believe most of us had as our main pain point of the game. The new battle plan system will introduce you to all of the endgame content, and if you follow the assigned plans, you'll basically have an opportunity to customize and make your content of your choice lucrative to your experience. Obviously, we are going to need to play the expansion and see how it all works out in the end. Something I have noticed on the downside of this is the higher endgame content has a ton of frustrating moments of off-screen shooting mortars, huge AoE slams, with very little time to react, either demanding extreme defensive scaling or you're just straight up dead instantly. Whether or not this type of difficulty of enemies in the higher endgame is favored or end up being complained about, time will obviously tell. I do find myself more confident in this update being a potential turning point for the game where I'll enjoy playing it beyond the initial leveling of a character on launch day. Every season since launch, I've basically been there and I've been making sure that I do everything I can in updating my build guides, and I've played every season, and every time I've been very sad that it hasn't really gotten to a point where the game has been good. It's always been fun to do the early stage, and as soon as I reach the end game, it's just been very, very dull. I really think that this is a good turning point for the game, and I hope that's going to be the feeling for not just myself, but other people as well playing the game. Now,
I wonder what that turning point is for Ghazzy. So, because he showed war plans, is that the turning point? Like, what was the turning point for him?
I wanted to make this video more about talking about my personal take and general takes on the expansion rather than spoiling anything or solving things for you, providing you with guides before the expansion even launched. So this video is a little short, but I hope you guys get my perspective on how I feel about the expansion, and I'll be checking it out live stream on the launch day, and we'll have guides updated after that as well. There's not going to be any updated build guides posted before the launch day happens, so make sure you stay tuned for that. They will come after the launch day. So the press releases that companies have been getting to try the game out of the expansion is not going to be presented in the community as the game being solved before the expansion even hits the floor for the player base. Now, obviously, YouTube video, so I'm going to have to ask you to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment down below what you guys think of the expansion.
Okay. Let me share the link with you guys if you guys want to give Ghazzy some love. All right. There's the link, guys. Okay. Well, what other videos should we watch, guys? Any you would recommend? Am I hyped or am I apprehensive? Well, I don't think the game's going to get worse. It's definitely going to get better. So I wouldn't say I'm apprehensive. I'm looking for the meaningful update to the end game. That's what I'm looking for in these videos. You see no info about the new Paragon system? I could be wrong, but I thought they weren't updating Paragon at all. I just watched the IGN video. I just watched that one. I'm seemed burned out on these ARPGs. Well, I just killed Uber Aberoth in last Epoch on 3 different characters. I just killed the pinnacle boss in Torchlight and went to time mark 8. I'm about to play the Diablo 4 expansion, and I absolutely can't wait for PoE 2. What about me is giving off the vibe that I'm burnt out? You liked the Fextra Life review. It was pretty good. I believe you, buddy. Fextra Life, I have it sworn into my religion to not support them. Reddit said that I am depressed. I heard Gazzy told me this morning, he sent me a message. He said, "Did you see the Reddit thread about you?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Oh man, they just deleted it." I was like, "Oh." I was like, "What was it?" And he's like, "Oh, there was a guy that just really, really hates you." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds like Tuesday." That just sounds like Tuesday. There's lots of people who hate me. I didn't get to see the thread though. Yeah, I'm looking here. Rax, what would you consider a meaningful endgame? How many hours would you personally consider a season to be for you? You realize that it's a very broad question. An endgame can take a lot of different forms, man. There's no singular winning formula. Just something for me to log in and do and have fun. Maybe it's maybe it's a me issue with multiple thousands of hours in this game already, that maybe I have just played the fun out of D4, at least the past version of it. Maybe the expansion will be a blast, but how many hours would I expect for a season to be? I mean, if you make the game fun, I can play the entire season. Fishing skill tree? I'm not kidding. You're gonna think I'm joking. I'm not. I'm being dead serious. I'm absolutely gonna fish. I'm gonna fish all the time. If you don't want to watch a fishing stream, don't watch my stream. I'm definitely doing the fishing mini game. I'm definitely doing it. No, I'm not kidding. Like, here, I'll be honest, guys. Like, at the moment, I don't have a strong opinion either way. I don't think the expansion. First of all, I haven't played it. I don't think the expansion is shit, and I don't think it's great. I don't know, but I just have a simple my first question toward figuring that out is, tell me what you're changing in the end game. What I have heard so far is instead of 4 torment tiers, now we have 12. Okay. And what I've heard is war plans are do 5 of the activities that you already do in a row for more rewards with a skill tree so you can fill it in. Guys, I'll tell you a secret. You want to know how I play Diablo 4 right now? I already just do whatever I want to do. doing whatever I want to do is not a new thing for me. I just go do whatever it is that I want to do anyway. So like the marketing push of now you can do whatever you want to do is like I was already doing that. You know what I mean? So I'm just asking like what is the new like what is the thing that we're going to be doing? What is PoE's endgame? PoE ones? I mean, there's a PoE ones. There's a shitload of things to do. Like, I don't think there's one person in this chat, me included. There's not one person here that can actually clear PoE. Not one of you, me myself included. None of us can. It's not even possible. Clear all the white maps, clear all the yellow maps, clear all the red maps, do the mini bosses, get your 4 void stones, do T17 maps, do the uber bosses. Almost nobody can do that. If you do that, Valdo maps. Then you do Valdo maps that will kill you, send you to the void if you die. And then if somehow you can make a character that powerful, if you get that strong, then you have Delve. And Delve will stop you. It'll stop even the best of the characters. So, I mean, there's a clear progression with interesting challenges and mega rewards for a shitload of time in PoE 1. It's great. I love it. You can't put PoE 1's endgame in a boxing ring with Diablo 4's endgame. It's like, you know. Is Quinn still alive? As far as I know, he's still streaming. Yeah, why? Somebody said that progression system sounds really boring. Okay. Let's not even go down there. Okay. Well, don't play PoE 1 then. I don't know. Quinn is streaming right now. There you go. You're convinced that Rax got cloned and the D4 Rax is far gone? Okay, let me ask you a question. So here's an honest question. Let's figure out, am I AI or cloned? Let's see if we can figure this out. So I have a question for you. Let me ask you this. People say that let's assume that it's true. Let's assume I'm AI or I'm cloned. So we have D4 Rax, and then we have whatever Rax is currently presented in front of you. Oop. Well, first of all, D4 Rax could probably spell. So my question is what's the difference here? What's the difference between me 2 years ago and the AI or cloned version that I am now? I genuinely want to understand, like, what has changed? So this one has higher standards, this one. So my standards went up. Okay, I'm just trying to understand. Okay, what else is different? Okay, let's go. PoE1 Gatekeeper Rax. Okay, that's my name over here. Okay. My singing voice. A better language model. I think I could just disprove that. I think I rage about equally, right? I don't think that has changed. Pessimism and optimism. So are we saying now I'm pessimistic? Is that what we're saying? I'm pessimistic now, but I was pessimistic. Optimistic. Okay. What else? I'm more depressed. Okay. And here I wasn't depressed. Okay. What else? Higher bit rate. I was fat before and now I've lost weight. Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with if they that would go against me being cloned, right? I would just be as fat as before. The hoodie smelled better 2 years ago. It didn't. I have a much better washing machine now. I have a new washing machine. It smells better now. That's not true. New Rax tried other games. Okay. I play more games now. And here I just played Diablo. That's actually objectively true. I don't think that buys into me being cloned very well, but okay. So let's talk about a couple of these things, okay? So I have higher standards now, and I had lower standards then. So I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when I'm thinking about this, I actually think I complained more quantity-wise and quality-wise before. Like I was writing huge papers about things that didn't work before, whereas nowadays I really don't do that. Wouldn't you say I complained more here than here? That's what I think. I actually think I complained more before. I'm worse now. We're just trying to figure out if I'm AI or cloned. I don't know. People were saying it, so. Okay, well, let's put it this way. Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. I don't think my amount of complaining has been a huge... I think I complain more here, personally. But even if that isn't true, let's say it's not true. Let's say I complain more now. I don't think there's been a huge difference, man. I've been complaining the whole time. I've been complaining before you guys even sniffed Diablo 4. I wrote the paper, "My horse is not my friend," to Blizzard before you guys even sniffed Diablo 4. So I mean, I really don't know. Like, you could say maybe I have higher standards because I've played games like Elden Ring. I played games like Expedition 33. I played games like Baldur's Gate 3. I played games that came out like PoE 2. When you play excellent games, maybe your standards do go higher. So maybe, I mean, this is not a crazy statement, I guess. Here I was optimistic about D4, and now I'm pessimistic. Well, actually, I actually think there's a lot of truth in this. You want to know why? When I was complaining over here and when I'm complaining over here, the difference is when I was complaining here, the game was 1 month old. and now it's 2 years old. So I would definitely say I was more optimistic before, because now I think Diablo 4's identity is etched in stone, right? So I think this is actually just true. This is true. Maybe this is true. Not depressed versus depressed. I can tell you, well, other than one devastating thing, I can tell you this is actually reversed. I feel better now than I did before, but there is one major difference. My mom died. My mom dying was the most grievous wound I have ever or will ever incur. Yeah. So this crushed me. But I think this is just flipped. I don't think this is true. But my mom dying was, it was bad for me. It's pretty bad. So this is not true. This is just wrong. This is absolutely true. So I don't know. I actually, believe it or not, I actually kind of agree with you on this. This part is wrong. But I guess I'm not, I don't draw the, I guess I don't understand how these things turned into I'm somehow a different person, or I'm AI, or I'm cloned. As you continue to play magnificent games and see them released over and over and over, you do have the expectation to get magnificent games. I think that's pretty normal. When you hope something turns out really good in the beginning, and then many years later it's not what you expected, you move in this direction naturally, right? This is a natural thing. And because I was not happy playing Diablo, I branched into more games. Wouldn't you say that this is healthier? Isn't this just a win? Isn't this a healthier way to be? You know, I'm trying to understand where people are coming from. They make blanket statements like, Rax is so different now. What? Like, how? Your uncle's funeral is Friday. He was the last of his generation. Terrible to hear, my friend. I'm sorry. Someone said their mom died 3 years ago. Oh, I know how that feels. Yep. What about eating? Now you're eating much healthier. You want to know what's kind of interesting? I totally understand this. The number one, you want to know what's the number one factor on whether you guys think I'm fat or not fat? It has to do with which hoodie I wear. This is a very, very fitted. This is the original hoodie. This is my Trash Cat hoodie. This is a very, very fitted hoodie, and you can see, like, look at my arm. Like, I'm actually not fat. You can see that I'm not fat now that I'm eating less and I'm lifting and stuff. But if I wear the Maxroll hoodie is like a parachute, and people will be like, "Man, have you seen Rax today? He's Jabba the Hutt." Guys, there's a huge difference in the hoodie. I get it. Like, it looks different for each different hoodie, but if I put on the Maxroll hoodie tomorrow, man, Rax, you've really gained weight. Like, yeah, I gained a whole 0 pounds from yesterday. Okay. Well, let's see. Is there another video that we can watch that tells us some things? Let's see. Diablo 4. This changes everything, Fextra Life says. We are not watching that video. We are never going to support Fextra Life. How about Paul Tassi? Do you guys like him? Should we watch his video?
I don't see one from Woody. Let me look. The only thing that he has is an exclusive look at 2 uniques. I don't see a review from him. Here, let's watch this one from Paul. I don't know this content creator, so maybe I'll find another favorite content creator. Let's watch this one. Pretend this is a cool animated intro. Well, I like this guy already.
All right, I am back with a Diablo 4
nice
video.
Nice place, man.
Haven't heard that in a very long time. This is my review of the new expansion for the game.
This guy writes
Lord
for
of
Forbes?
Hatred. This is the second expansion for Diablo 4, a ongoing game that is actually putting out media.
I actually really like that I'm not familiar with this content. That gives me like no bias one way or the other.
Chunks of content when it comes to ongoing expansions. I'm not sure how many of these are going to be, but this one kind of feels like the end of a trilogy based on what happens in the game, although obviously seasons and things are going to happen going forwards. We don't have any confirmation this is the last expansion, but this is the first time I've returned to the game in earnest since Vessel of Hatred, which was the first expansion. I did like that, and I think I like this one a little better. They're both good. I've really enjoyed Diablo 4 since the start. I probably would have kept up with the seasons if I had any amount of time to do that, which was hard before and even harder now with 2 children. So
he has 2 children, so he's a super busy guy. So he says he does not follow the Diablo 4 seasons because he actually has no time. So this is an interesting perspective. Sounds like this is going to be like a big jump for him from the last time he played. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he says.
So I really got to prioritize, and just, grinding for Diablo all the time through these seasons is probably not as viable. Here, I played my review copy, which has its limits. Obviously, I could get through the campaign, which is not super long. I think it's like 5 or 6 hours, depending on if you're doing side quests.
So IGN said 8. This guy is admittedly kind of a super casual. He said he did it in 5 or 6. 6 if you do side quests. So already that's a huge difference. The other guy, IGN said 8. This guy said 5 or 6. Like, I'm going to try to beat it in 3. We'll see what happens, though.
Or things like that. And then there is the endgame, where there's only so far you can get into the endgame in a period like this. But I did try to go and test out all of the systems and figure out what worked and what didn't, at least initially.
So he's also saying it took him 5 or 6 hours, and he was constantly changing his mind and looking at the systems. I don't know if he's factoring that into his time or not, but now I'm thinking potentially lower than 5.
I will be putting more time into this to kind of get deeper into things and push past these pretty early torment levels that require gearing up that I haven't had time to do yet, and creating builds where I have not been able to find the key pieces yet, but fashioning them as best
Warlock
I can
looks
with
cool.
2 max level new characters. That would be the Warlock and the Paladin. The Paladin was available earlier, but this is like the upgraded version of it with skill tree changes, which hit the entire rest of the game as well. And yeah, there are some significant changes and additions here. In terms of the campaign itself, I really liked it. One of Diablo 4's greatest strengths, I thought, was its campaign and its narrative, which seems kind of insane to say because I never really cared about the narrative of Diablo. Like, the lore of the world is cool, but I wouldn't exactly say that's a series that has packed a bunch of impactful, emotional moments for me. I really thought that Lilith as a new villain.
So I think a lot of people liked Lilith in the beginning, but I think the second campaign was pretty universally hated because we fought Mephisto's dog. But it sounds like he's meaning more Lilith, which was the first campaign, which people pretty much liked.
Quote-unquote villain worked really well for D4, and then as we've kind of gone on, she becomes somewhat less villainous to the point where now she is back in some capacity. I'm not going to go into spoilers here. This is like a video version of my written review where I'm really trying to dance around a lot of things because there are really big things that happen here, and then including things that extend into the end game, which I have to be really careful about, both in talking and in the footage. It is very good. This is led by not just Lilith, but Lorath, who is voiced by the excellent Ralph Ineson. I thought the two of them were the best part about the original Diablo 4 story, and they are leading this one, as opposed to Nerel in the last game, and it was mostly Mephisto talking the most. I mean, he's fine, but he's no Lilith. I think Lilith is the best character this game has had. Just the basic setup for this is that if you played the last expansion, it ends with Mephisto occupying the body of Akarat, who becomes this deity-like figure.
Excuse me, his name is a carrot, like a carrot in a salad.
Where the storyline here, as it starts, is he's sort of like Jesus Christ for the Isles of Scovos here, and all the Amazons. They kind of immediately start to worship him, and him being resurrected and stuff. And
a lot of people are saying this guy's playing very slow, but he said he's admittedly a very casual player. He's playing on Penitent, by the way. And he said he didn't have the right stuff for his build, and he's frying Penitent as a casual. I'd say he's doing great.
He's a demon, so we kind of have to go and prove that and stop him. It's an interesting setup. I think the Isle of Scovos is a cool place here. You can tell they sort of did just do this and with the Amazons to make sure we got some Amazons into Diablo 4. I guess I understand why they didn't do an Amazon class, because they have this whole, like, every class has to be customizable male and female versions, and, like, you're just not... You can do whatever writing and workarounds you want. You're not going to have a male Amazon. I mean, technically, like a war...
That's definitely not why they didn't put Amazon in the game. They didn't put Amazon in the game because they have Rogue and Spiritborn. There'd be way too much overlap, right? It's got nothing to do with gender selection.
Warlock is what, a male wizard most of the time, but it's an Amazon. Like, their whole thing is being women. So we do not get that class, although I think that would have been a lot of fun. And yeah, so the story's good. I think the ending is pretty stellar, honestly. But obviously, I think most people are not playing this for the story, and that is over after 5 or 6 hours, where if you are continuing to play this, that's dozens more hours, if not hundreds, depending on how far you get into the end game. Once we're there, we can kind of get the full extent of how these classes feel. The Warlock is brand new. It has to do with summoning a lot of demons. It's a summoning class, but it doesn't really feel like Necromancer, nor does it feel like Sorcerer. It's kind of a mix of things. Like, for my...
I wonder if he died right there. I wonder if that's why he cut. Because this laser beam's about to hit him.
It's a summoning class, but it doesn't really feel like Necromancer, nor does it feel like Sorcerer. It's kind of a mix of things. Like, for my build specifically this is just me freestyling something. There's no YouTubers to copy or anything. I have a bunch of ghost hands that shoot out. I have an AoE trap move. I have demon towers that I summon that blast people with eye beams, like the Eye of Sauron. I have a piranha type skill that's like my ultimate that just eats up enemies and splits up and grows in power over time. And then I have some giant ghost worm that follows me around and eats things. That's one of the like special mastery things, and there's a bunch of those demons you can kind of choose from. Just to briefly dip into the skill tree changes here, one of the things they've done is they've changed it so there are not really that many passive things, like the little tiny 3 nodes where it's like, you know, when you're fortified, you get 5% damage, 10% damage, 15% damage. It's all essentially just these new options where every skill has 3 branching trees to it, and then 2 of the trees have 2 nodes each going off from that. And then there's one that has 3 that are more significant changes, including, you know, changing the very nature of the move. So for instance, with the Warlock, there's like demonology moves that are like the purple moves, and then there's hellfire moves that are the yellow moves. You can just change all your demonology skills using that tree to hellfire skills. So you could essentially make very elaborate hellfire builds, not using many, if any, hellfire skills in theory. And I think a lot of the classes do that. I did not have a chance to try this on any of the existing classes. I only did this with Paladin and Warlock, but that's kind of the gist of it, and you can see how much more creativity you can kind of put into builds that way. And then that's in addition to, you know, all the Paragon board stuff and legendary nodes. Did not have a chance to get super deep into the Paragon boards, as you might expect, but it all sort of combines in that way. I
mean, I've asked this before, but guys, are there any changes to the Paragon boards? Like significant changes? Like, okay, they adjust some numbers or move a node around here or there, but are the Paragon boards changing? Why do people keep talking about this? Because I haven't heard anything. Is there something that I'm missing? Yeah, we're getting a presentation in 2 days. Maybe they'll talk about it.
Weird thing about the new skill tree system is that you end up with just a lot of points that you're doing nothing with, because if you do the little tree, it's like 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, maybe 4 points, and then you're done with that tree, and there's no like passives to invest in. That's all kind of left to the Paragon board. So now you can have these stack up to 15 in terms of like increasing their damage or their cooldown or healing or whatever the skill does, as opposed to 5. But it's just, you know, if you're using 3-4 main skills, you're putting 40, 50, 60 points into those skills, where it's like, that's just sort of boring. You know what I mean? Like, just these flat increases. Like, I don't really see the difference between putting 5 points in a skill and putting 15 points into a skill if the end result is kind of going to be the same. You know, if everything is more powerful, nothing is more powerful, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. That part's just kind of weird. It just seemed like, I like the new system with the new, you know, move modifier.
Sorry, let me go back and see what he said again.
Where it's like 15 in terms of 3 points, maybe 4. Is that you end up with just a lot of points that you're doing nothing with, because if you do the little tree, it's like 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, maybe 4 points, and then you're done with that tree, and there's no like passives to invest in. That's all kind of left to the Paragon board. So now you can have these stack up to 15 in terms of like increasing their damage or their cooldown or healing or whatever the skill does, as opposed to 5. But it's just, you know, if you're using 3-4 main skills, you're putting 40, 50, 60 points into those skills. Where
okay, I see what he's saying. So he's saying that before, okay, so he's saying before in the passive tree, they had a bunch of different passives that you would select to make your character better besides your skills. Now they've removed those, and now what you do is you pick the little 3-prong thing for the 4 skills or so you're using, and then the way that you build your character is just clicking those skills up to level 15, because it's up from 5, and he's saying that's very boring. Rob mentioned me in his new video. Did Rob say, I'll watch Rob's video next. Did he say that, was it the comment about Tomb Lord or something? Rax, I've been watching you for years. I think you're the greatest and you're the GOAT. I've gone out and got the upgrade. I gone out and got the upgrade, and you keep on doing what you're doing. Fuck everybody from me. Well, first of all, Christopher, everyone's going to think that I paid you to send that message. I don't know exactly what you said, buddy, but I think you're trying to say that you and I are friends. Rock on, Chris. Putting 15 points in a core skill is boring. He's not wrong. Yeah, I mean it's a good point. I didn't know that they were increasing it to 15, but yeah, I mean if I can put 15 points in Blessed Hammer and 15 points in all of my auras, why would I put my points in anything else? It's fair. Say Bradical, Misbehavin', Magobane. Thank you so much for the subs.
It's
guys.
like that's just sort of boring. You know what I mean? Like just these flat increases. Like I don't really see the difference between putting 5 points in a skill and putting 15 points into a skill if the end result is kind of
okay. So he says he doesn't see the point in it. It's a fair argument. I mean, we are trained in, as you play a lot of ARPGs, the skill level of a skill is usually one of the only ways to get multiplicative damage for that skill. You see this in PoE 2. I got my plants to level 40. People were watching my PoE 2 stream. They're like, Rax, your plants hit for millions and millions of damage. How? I'm like, well, first of all, what level plants do you have? And they're like, oh, mine are level 24. That's good, right? I'm like, well, mine are level 40. So maybe it is a boring, uninspired way to scale damage, but it's a common way to do it.
going to be the same. You know, if everything is more powerful, nothing is more powerful. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That part's just kind of weird. It just seemed like I like the new system with the new, move modifiers, but, they up the cap to 70, so you get more skill points. Like, but like, who cares? Like, they don't really do anything. Another thing I found somewhat superfluous that was added is this new talisman charm system, seal system, where you get little charm drops, and like I feel like this is Diablo trying to bring charms back, but it feels like it's kind of for its own sake, where there's like a little spoked wheel and you can invest, put charms around the little center. There's some set ones where obviously if you have like 3 of them, it gives you some bonuses. They're all just sort of like flat stat things, at least in their current form, the ones I have, where I put a set together and it's like, oh, 10% more damage to elites, 10% damage reduction. It's like, good, yeah, sure, that's strong, but it's also just sort of a Paragon board thing in a different shape. I would imagine that these get more complex in time and that there are like really, really a lot better charms in the endgame, but I'm still wondering how they kind of get past just be like, this is another legendary thing you have access to. This is another unique affix. So I guess it's sort of stacking more stuff, but in a way it seems like it exists because they wanted to bring charms back, and yet I don't know how much it's really going to add to the game other than just sort of being another layer of power creep with just more and more stats.
So this is actually kind of interesting. It's a little bit eye-opening to me. It shouldn't be eye-opening, but it is a little bit, if I'm being honest. So, I mean, this guy is like, again, it's supposed to come across as a compliment, not as an insult. It's a compliment, but this guy is, kind of self-proclaimed, has no time, 2 kids. He's kind of like a casual player, right? But he's definitely like critically thinking about the systems themselves. Like the one of the previous interviews the previous reviews we just watched says, ooh, set items. This is crazy good. Which again, I think they're a more casual player, which is fine. But this guy's like, these set items just give me more power creep. I'm looking for something like meaningful with them. And he's predicting maybe it comes later. Maybe he does. But what this shows me is it is possible for a casual gamer dad without a lot of time to see one of these systems and critically think about it, about essentially just not have it be spoon fed to them kind of deal. Good casuals and bad casuals. I wouldn't even say you're a bad person for not critically thinking about it. A lot of people game to not critically think. A lot of people game for fun. Oh, I have work, I have my kids, I have this, I have soccer practice. I don't want to think when I game. That's where I have fun. I get it. I totally understand. But it's interesting to see the perspective of someone very casual actually staring at the system presented to them and being like, why am I actually doing this kind of deal?
I will continue to dig into that and see if things get any more interesting as time goes on. But so far, not really. This joins the rune system that they added before. Was that Vessel of Hatred? I don't know. I have played with the rune system whenever it was. And I think that was a little more interesting, where you're generating resources, spending it on the rune powers. I think that was perhaps a more creative way to bring back runes that we've previously seen in other games, whereas this is like, I don't know, it's fine. Some new additions that are good. One of them is the Horadric Cube. I think Horadric Cube, it's one of those things I'm going to pronounce wrong, where it just does a ton of things. Obviously, there's like kind of the crazy combinations you can do. I'm looking forward to figuring out, or people figuring out, what all the secret combinations are of things, but I kind of compare this to Path of Exile, where there's like just a lot of ways to modify gear. And this goes above and beyond where we've seen from like the vendors and like the occultists and I don't remember all their names, but it's more.
I see the analogy here, and I agree high level with what he's saying. He's saying the Horadric Cube expands crafting. He said it was like PoE 1. We're going to hold that thought for a second. And he said having the different options is better. I just don't think I don't think it's like PoE 1.
Than just like masterworking or changing one affix. You can transform, a lot of things to better things, rares to legendaries, legendaries to mythics, change the mythic power, change pretty much anything about it, and it's it's a lot of gambling, so it does remind me of like the.
You wanna know what's so funny about that bad English comment? I read it like 4 times. I'm like, why did someone type Bangladesh? It's bad English. Jesus Christ, I can't even read.
Path of Exile orbs, where the cost goes up, or some of the modifications you roll the dice on are permanent. It's also like a materials crafting thing that you can do for various stuff. It plays into the runes. You can build runes. You can build charms. So it does like a lot of things in one package, where it's probably the most customization they've ever added in one single new edition.
PoE2?
I think the blacksmith changes especially did add some level of customization to that, but it was still pretty limited. This is a lot less limited, and there's going to be a lot of like kind of tinkering around and the ability to perhaps land gear that you would not have gotten otherwise through these upgrades, meaning like kind of just grinding. If you get enough currencies or whatever, you can buy yourself at least some sort of unique or mythic or whatever that you want. So I think that's a good addition to the game, and I've only seen part of the power it actually has. Did I skip over Paladin? I totally skipped over Paladin. I'm going to circle back to Paladin. I'll close with them. You can stay tuned for Paladin. The kind of main endgame addition was this thing called War Plans, where it takes pretty much all the existing endgame activities and puts them in like a little roadmap for you, where you do like 3, 4, 5 of them in a row. It doesn't lock your loadout necessarily, but it means you can't really quit doing that in the middle unless you lose a lot of progress. You can choose kind of what activities you do to a certain extent, like how you travel down to the bottom of the plan there. Think of an endgame activity: Nightmare Dungeons, the Pits, the wave-based one, the Undercity time limit one. There's a lot. So pretty much anything that exists that's still in the game. Hell Tides, even Hell Tides are in there. that's still in the game is able to be used there. A lot of the times it will come up with like a targeted like farm thing, like this one is going to give you more gems, this one is going to give you more XP, this has armor, and in addition to the drops you get as you play, then you end up with a giant pool of stuff at the very end there that you're able to, it's a very large pool of rewards, so you're going to get a lot out of it, as opposed to just the old way of doing things where you just do this activity to target this thing and it gives you currency for this other thing, then you go do that. You can still do that. This is just a little bit more of a coherent way to have like a set thing of like, okay, I'm not going to just farm a Nightmare Dungeon like 50 times. I'm going to do a more kind of diverse range of activities. You can also like customize it a little bit in terms of, okay, you need to do a Nightmare Dungeon and they'll give you one by default, but you can use a key to do a different one or whatever, or you can use modifiers for the pit. Like you can still use all those systems within that too. But it's more than just kind of doing all these in order. There is also a skill tree modification system for each of these activities. So the more you play them, the more XP you will get, and you will earn points to upgrade each thing that usually simultaneously makes it harder, but also gives you more rewards, more currency, things like that. For instance, I don't remember all of these, but in the Nightmare Dungeon one, there is a node that gives you a chance to just straight up respawn the boss you kill at the end, which obviously would mean double rewards from that boss. There is a shrine you can unlock that where you just spawn 7 elites at a time for farming. There is an altar where, among other things, you can just like choose to summon the butcher to kill him. There is something about spawning more treasure goblins, and they give you keys that give you more treasure in other Nightmare Dungeons, and then sometimes they open a portal to Goblin World. There's a lot of things, and that's just one thing. You know, Helltide, for example, one of the first upgrades is periodically a bunch of rats will spawn around you, and I'm like, well, that's weird. The rats spawn around you, they're very small, but they have a lot of health, and you kill them, and that's how you get a bunch of Helltide Cinders. So it's like free Helltide Cinders, and that's like kind of an upgrade for that. So on and so forth.
Do Helltide Cinders persist beyond the hour reset? Well then, why is this guy saying that the rat... Oh. Is he saying that the rats only spawn in Helltide? Or maybe they give you the cinders and you have to go spend them immediately? Or maybe they changed it? I wonder if he's saying the truth. I wonder what that means, and if he's misunderstanding, or maybe it's some other currency. I don't know.
There is what was one in the Cursed Undercity? It's like every time you hit a new rank in that, you get a bunch of XP orbs, which is very useful. So I like that. And speaking of XP orbs, what I did with Paladin, which I guess we'll kind of close with that. You can just straight up go into the end game where like you're level 1, but you unlock the whole end game instantly, so you don't have to redo the entire campaign. The game really dumps XP on you now. I got Paladin to max, and then a couple dozen Paragon points into the board in probably half a day of playing. You are getting these XP orbs kind of everywhere.
I wonder if that's not true. Because I don't think that's true. If anybody's panicking in the chat, I doubt it. And the reason why I doubt it is a lot of times in these play tester things, they give you massively boosted XP and drops and consumables. So I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah, it's like for a review copy perk. I doubt it.
Where if you do something that has like targeted XP orb drops, or you get an XP shrine, you're getting 3, 4, 5, 6 levels a run, or at the end of a war plan, I just start with 20 Paragon points, end with 27, like just because of how fast those go. Obviously that tapers off in time as it gets harder and harder to get more Paragon points, but that is a really good catch-up system that I think will allow a lot more people to not just try Paladin and Warlock, but also try their other classes in a given season. Maybe some of this was done before this, but I've never seen leveling this fast without having to like spam farm some specific activity or do a million tree of whispers or whatever it's been. Paladin, really enjoy Paladin. I think I might like Paladin more than Warlock. I've always loved Paladin in Diablo. Really, one of
Okay, I don't need to hear him talk about the Paladin, but I would like to hear his closing thoughts.
jump back in at the very least, you know, but as a returning player, someone who's not been keeping up with all the seasons, I certainly view this as a way to jump back in at the very least, you know, get these two classes going pretty strong, maybe dip back to one of your other favorite classes, or a couple of them, because you can kind of get them up so fast.
Is that a corgi?
Check out the new skill trees. It definitely seems like a reason to dive back in, even if I'm not going to be like, oh, well, time to start the seasonal grind again. I'm going to play 1,000 hours this year. That's not going to happen, I don't think. But
So you tell me if I'm reading him wrong here, but literally by his own words and by his tone, he seems pretty unimpressed. He says going to log in, get the classes kind of powerful. Definitely won't be playing 1,000 hours this year. I'm not getting a super hyped vibes from him.
this certainly was kind of a welcome thing that, like, I was kind of on my radar, but I was like, maybe I'll get to it. But now I will.
Son. Thank you, my
I'll definitely
dude.
play at
Appreciate
launch.
you, my
Lord
friend.
knows I've extracted everything I can from Crimson Desert right now. I'm going to play Pragmata this week, which I don't think is super long. And then my plan is to play this. So I liked it. I think most Diablo people, at least of the current generation, are probably going to like it. And I'm curious to hear what you all think, but that won't be
The current generation. All right. Yeah, okay. Oh God, Rob's is 44 minutes long. All right, do you guys want to watch it? It's 44 minutes. Okay, so just warning you, Rob is Mr. Positive, and I'm Mr. Negative. It's always been like
The
that.
Diablo news keep on coming, guys. We have an official launch trailer and the press embargo release with full reviews up on various websites here. So let's check out the Lord of Hatred launch.
So I love Rob. I don't know if I want to watch Rob watching the other. Does Rob have his own? Or I can just watch Rob's? I want to watch Rob's. Rob doesn't have his own. Oh, okay. I love Rob, but I don't want to watch Rob watching the videos I just watched. Okay. Let's see. Is there anybody that has their own? We're not watching Fextra Lives. Oh, here's, well, I like Nick 2 a lot. It's not really a review of the expansion, but it's a review of the Warlock. Do you guys want to watch Nick's review of the Warlock? That could be interesting. Okay, you guys don't want to see it. I don't want to watch Fextra Lives. Fextra Life scammed sponsors out of probably millions of dollars, so I don't watch Fextra Life's content. Okay. I watched Ghazzy's, so it was good.
think I'm typing D4 and looking for other reviews, but I actually don't see very many. I wonder if I wonder if Blizzard was afraid to send me a. I wonder if they were afraid to send me one. God, don't let Rax try it. I'm on the advanced copy blacklist. Actually, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, they did invite me. Actually, wait a minute. Now that, to be fair, they actually did invite me to go to Blizzard in, I don't know when it was, January or something. So actually, they did invite me. I guess it's not fair to say they didn't invite me. So that's not fair to say. Well, my build seems pretty good, but at the same time, it seems like the fact that my build is good doesn't matter, right? Because the skill tree is changing, so I'm going to have to rebuild it for you anyway. You want to know what? I just had a godly idea. I'm going to make a guess at a full Warlock planner and a full Paladin planner. And then I'm going to play Warlock. And I'll just make my brother play my Paladin build. And if my Paladin build works, great. And if my Paladin build sucks, then I can just have my brother fix it. Way to play two classes at the same time. Is Soul Drinker Diablo's Soul Eater? Unpaid labor is the best labor. The next time Lee is in my chat, might be here right now. The next time he's in my chat, ask him. Ask him if I don't pay him for his labor. I'd be very interested to see how he responds. Next time he's here, just go ahead and ask him. See what he says. My mom died last year and left us her house. I got half of her house. You know, everything's split 50-50 between me and Lee. Lee said he would like to live there. I gave him the house. I handed Lee half of a house last year. There's one example. You're just joking? I know you're joking, but If anybody thinks I don't take care of my little brother, you're grievously mistaken. Did we staple it back together? Yeah, it was a huge ordeal. Like, they should have just asked us ahead of time. But yeah, the moment my mom died, the next day the construction company was there sawing it in half so we could split it. We're like, guys, you didn't have to do that. Could have just left it. I tried to evade through, but I had collision. I couldn't get away from them. I just have one brother, yeah. These guys are crazy powerful. These guys are actual demon lords. So we're playing on the highest difficulty. My build seems really good. I kind of just slapped together. Didn't look at any guides, of course. I'll take another way to apply vulnerable. So last time I did this, I died because they put too many poison puddles. They put too many poison puddles in the center. So I'm gonna have to pay attention to my poison puddle placement. We call it the PPP. Number one factor on whether I live or die is the PPP, the poison puddle placement. So we've got to pay some attention here. Man, they're definitely spawning a lot of enemies. They're everywhere. There's got to be a poison puddle there or something. Oh no, Waller. Oh no. Damn, these guys are fucking strong on Penitent, man. They CC you, they have a shitload of health, they do outrageous damage. Like, my gear I don't think is terrible. My gear is not good, but it's not terrible. Fighting 3 Jim Bobs on Penitent. Oh, nice. This Waller completely negates all of my damage. Love that. Winner. Get a new weapon. Yeah, I should probably look at my gear here. This is more armor. Let's see here. My toughness is... Oh, I know what my problem is. My problem is... I don't have my My elixir's going. I need to go buy some elixirs. What's this? Nice, I'll take that. You religiously blasted D4 for almost 4,000 hours and you haven't logged in since. Are you going to try the expansion or no? Do we have the upgrade? Did they get rid of the upgrade 3 times thing? Holy damage is and fire damage is increased by 130%. Bro, isn't that the kind of damage that I do? Bro, oh my god. The monsters have no chance now. Wait, I should have, dang it. I should have added the I need a... Holy... Settle down, Satan. Jesus. What's going on here? The rain keeps coming down. I can't go back to town. I'm crying. For what it's worth, you're still not over how bad last campaign's story was. Well, if that's your main concern, again, I don't know for sure, but I really don't think we're going to have that problem. They have explicitly stated it's going to be a quote-unquote proper fight. How good is that roll? 20 or 21? Oh, well, okay. They say it's going to be a proper fight against Mephisto, so... I don't see the upgrade 5 Jim Bobs thing. Maybe they got rid of that, which honestly probably makes sense. What I need to do, though, is I do need to temper it. Let's see, what can I do here? One-fourth chance to do double damage. Ugh. Should we go with that? 1/4 of a chance to do double damage. Or we could just take 25% more damage or 30% more core damage. Oh, let's do the other one for fun. I can re-roll it once. We're gambling. I made it way worse. I'm crying. Wait, it says temper re-rolls 1. There we go. Now I have it almost perfect. Okay. Should be way stronger now. Oh, legendary gloves. Ow. Ow. This rain hurts. Impenitent. Okay, nice. Well, I certainly have my damage solved now. So this is the highest difficulty that you can do on the campaign. The thing that I don't have solved for sure is my... thing I don't have solved is my defense. Rax, what are your thoughts on Warhammer 40k? I have no opinion on it. I don't know anything about it. Never played it or anything. Is it good? Do you like it? You tell me. Have I played Heroes of Might and Magic? I love... love is not a strong enough word. I love Heroes of Might and Magic. The game is giga god tier. One of the best video games ever. Played Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3 religiously. The new Heroes is awesome, so much like 3. Wait, there's a new Heroes of Might and Magic that just came out that's like the old ones? What's it called? I'll literally buy it tonight. Tonight I'm actually insanely busy. I have no free time tonight. Olden Age? Olden Era? Is it good? It's out on the 30th in early access. Yo, I'm gonna message Mythic Talent right now. The 30th is after Diablo 4 will be done. We're only gonna play it for a day. Yeah, so I definitely have my damage completely solved. I'm easily trashing these guys. My only issue is I can't take a hit to save my life. I have the survivability of Anthony Davis right now, so I've got to figure something out. Okay. I guess let's keep pumping this one up. Shots fired. I mean, they don't call him Anthony Day to Davis for nothing. Yo, Jabba. Ow! Why do these guys hit so hard? Holy shit! There's a poison puddle. One step on that will kill me instantly. Trust me. Am I a Dallas Mavericks fan? I wouldn't, I actually, living in Nebraska, I wouldn't say I'm like I don't have a particular NBA team that I root for. I think the most interesting team by far to watch right now, like by far, is the Lakers, because they're so volatile. They have LeBron, like, is he going to be a god or is he not going to be a god? They have Luka and Austin Reeves. They have Kennard. Like, they're literally like all offense, no defense. It's just fun to watch. But now everybody's hurt, so now LeBron has to just win by himself. Is Rax back? What do you mean, buddy? We've been streaming for 7 straight years. Never went anywhere. Marcus Smart not mentioned. He's a pretty decent player. Marcus Smart's pretty decent. Ew, Lakers. Again, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact of necessarily liking the Lakers. They're just the most exciting team to watch right now by far. Luka played defense one game and got injured. Yeah, we can't have Luka playing any defense. What made me want to start streaming 7 years ago? The moment that I actually found out that it is, it's kind of a long shot, but it is a potentially viable career, I was just all in immediately. The moment that I realized that it was possible, it wasn't long before I put my 2 weeks in. When I put my 2 weeks in at my job, I wasn't making any money from my stream. I only had like 50 average viewers. I literally kind of just gave up everything to try to make it work. I was definitely all in. I just wanted to play video games so bad, like, and try to share that passion with people. I was locked in, man. I'm stuck. Your buddy was the personal chef for Marcus Smart when he lived in Boston? Well, that's awesome. Did he think that Marcus Smart was a nice guy? He seems like a nice guy. He sure seems like a nice guy. Hi, John. What's up? Lakers are going to be up 2-0 tonight. Is Kevin Durant playing? I'm sorry, but somebody has to say it. If the Rockets can't beat this version of the Lakers, I don't even know what to say. The Lakers in their current form, as Kai the Hitchhiker would say, are trash. So, yeah, if the Rockets can't even beat this Lakers team, they really just don't even belong in the playoffs. Because when they have to go against San Antonio or Denver or OKC, they are going to get giga shit on. The Thunder would beat the current Lakers like 390-10. Makuna, how we doing, buddy? Yes, sir. Are you going Sorcerer? Are you still sticking with Sorcerer in the expansion? What did I do before streaming? I climbed the corporate hierarchy at a major insurance company, Nationwide Insurance. I started as a processor, just changing addresses and phone numbers. Then after a few years of doing that, I got promoted to an IT guy, just fixing everybody's problems. Then I got promoted again to a project manager, where I built a new work system for the processing center. Then I got my math degree, and I moved to the corporate office, and I became an underwriter. Then I got my quote-unquote master's degree in property and casualty insurance. I got my CPCU, if you know what that is. I bet you there's some insurance boys in here who know what a CPCU is. Chartered, I can't move. Chartered property and casualty underwriter. Then I moved to their corporate office and I became an actuary. And then after being an actuary for a while, then I became the trainer of the actuaries. So I would train everybody who came in on how to do math and stuff. Then I finished in like the highest department. I finished in product, which is where you literally pretty much determine everything. You determine what you sell, how you sell it, where you sell it, how the claims are handled. Product does everything. So product is just above every other department. They just do everything. So I finished in product, and then I sat at my desk and I was like, wait a minute, I should be playing video games. And then I left. So that was my progression. Processor, IT, project manager, underwriter, actuary, actuarial trainer, then product. I'm still loosely affiliated with Maxroll Mikuna. I still am. I haven't really written a proper guide for Maxroll in multiple years, though. Am I secretly playing the expansion off stream with early access? If I had done that, Aaron, then today I would have. I can't move, man. That is there like crowd controlled duration that we can spec into or something? Okay, that was my fault. I just stepped into that big explosion. I need to get like crowd control duration reduction because I'm getting frozen for like 3 straight seconds. And on 3 seconds at Penitent with an elite hitting me, I just die. I just get 100 owed. No, I'm frozen again. Man, it's crazy. Getting frozen for even a single, like even a second, a full second is just death. On Penitent anyway, with my current character. I have damage for days, but my my defense is pathetic. God. You're going to play Warlock for 2 or 3 days because you think the Warlock's going to be 1,000,000 times stronger. Do you have an idea, Makuna, what kind of Warlock you're going to build? I haven't, I might start it tomorrow. I think I'm going to properly dive into the theory crafting and see what builds are possible and throw something together. Metamorphosis, that's where the Warlock actually transforms, right? Yeah, I need to look at the damage numbers and see what button. Okay, R. Oh, I know why I'm pressing R, because I'm so used to playing WoW and R is my water shield. That's why I keep pressing it. You're going to play Metamorphosis and then you're going to respec to whatever's strongest. Yeah, usually whatever ends up being the strongest is whichever thing has the most broken, unique power, the most broken, Do we know, are we getting new mythic uniques in this expansion or no? Did they say there's new mythic uniques? No, so the item chase is mostly the same. Oh, what the fuck just hit me? Is there a death log in this game? No way that there's no new mythic uniques. Yeah, I mean, that would honestly surprise me, but then again, I haven't heard them say anything about it, so maybe not. Okay, we're gonna try. Oh, I already opened it. Okay. Talismans are gonna be the chase items. You're more hyped about the PoE 2 next season. What are you guys more hyped for? The Diablo 4 expansion or the PoE 2 update in May? We think it's the Endgame update. Which one is more exciting to you? PoE 2, both. PoE 2, D4, PoE 2, PoE 2, PoE 2, PoE. Okay. Well. Holy. Yeah, I'm obviously going to play both. Let's go turn this in maybe. There was nothing on my screen, and then in the time of me opening my map and going to here, there were 100 monsters on me that 100 owed me. That was crazy. All right. I mean, let's just take this. 12% toughness. Dude, should we try... 14% toughness. This is why I'm getting one-shotted. %10 toughness. So if I salvage this, then I could just put this power on this sword, right? It would be way more damage. Although this sword has 4 stats. This one has... I still think it would be better, right? Let's see. It's still going to be better. I keep hearing rumors that the PoE 2 expansion is not for... Okay, let's just YOLO it. Let's salvage it. I heard rumors that the PoE 2 expansion is not for... Not till like the end of the... The end of the month. So if that's true, that makes me sad. Okay. No, I don't think they've announced anything. What I'm saying is I'm hearing rumors. I'm hearing rumors that it is not coming out until the end of the month. Yeah, the end of May, right? Okay, now I'm crazy strong. Hopefully I can take a hit now. Something. Let's try this boss. Let's see if I can fight him. On Penitent. It's probably a terrible idea, but we ball anyway. Oh yeah, we're frying.
What oath are you using?
What oath am I using? This or let's see, what's an oath? I'm using 3 auras. Hold on a second. Let me fight this boss real quick. Up. No. Wah. Oh, I didn't even do that. I didn't do my oh yeah, I should have done my class quest. I forgot. I didn't even do that. I was just sitting in Helltide. I forgot. You don't have to do the you don't have to do the quest? They just give it to you? Wait, they removed all of them? You don't have to do the mage thing anymore? What just happened to me? I just fought her forever, and then when she's at 1% health, she just 100 owed me? The fuck just happened? You have to do it once. Oh, she almost did it to me again. What the fuck? All right, so let's see here. My oath. Yeah, I probably should have picked one of these, huh? I was doing the no oath build just to prove that you don't need an oath to play the game, you know? I was doing that just for you guys, from out of the kindness of my heart. Let's see. It's a core skill. So this, it's a holy damage disciple skill. This is adjudicator. Juggernaut zealot. Am I stupid, or do these not really even help me? Zealot skills, so when I cast my fanaticism, Maybe I go... We go Judicator. So this gives me 50% more damage if I go into Arbiter form. I mean, I already use my basic skill to apply vulnerable, so I could maybe... Let me try this. I swear an oath to be a Judicator. By the way, I never went and got my potions. Let's try our best when the boss spawns to just zerg her down.
RaxxGG.
Paul. Elmelm. The Hacken. Flyers. Makuna. Noxious. Thank you so much for the subs, guys. I better look at my screen before I die. Scared to get close, because last time she did that stupid attack that pretty much one-shot me. Alright, I got her. Okay. Almost 60 is good number, yes. Asking Makuna to unban you. Makuna, did you ban that guy in your stream? I don't know. What was his infraction? Very nice, like my wife. When I purchased my wife, she was very nice. Good sexy time, very strong in plow. But 2 years later, when she turned 15, she grew a very deep voice, a Borat, a Borat. And now her vagina hang like sleeve of wizard. And 2 years ago, she passed away. A high five. Making no effort to actually dodge the explosions. What in the I wish I understood where these like sudden bursts of damage come out. You're like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Dead. Dang it, did my pinky toe step out? Hi, Hobbit. What's up, buddy? People never learn. They overpromise and underdeliver. Oh, here we go again. Round 2, boys. Strap on, I mean strap in. Nice. Waller, that's like my favorite affix ever. I love how there's another event completely outside of this event DPSing me. Oh god, I stepped out again. I love how this event is right next to it. Is Diablo 4 still ass? Well, I guess we'll find out in 7 days, buddy. That's when the expansion is dropping. By the way, I have 15 seconds to spend 258 Cindy's because I wasn't paying attention. Dang it. I can't even get one. Dang it. I left 3 treasure chests on the table, stupid idiot. Okay, we are almost... Let's go do a dungeon for fun. We haven't done a dungeon yet. Then we're going to wrap this up here and hit 60 in a moment. The worst part about this game is the open world, to be honest. That's an interesting question. If Diablo 4 removed the open world and you just went from activity to activity, do you guys think the game would get better or worse? It's actually an interesting question. You think it would be worse? Worse? Got 2 for worse. I don't know, it's hard for me to even think about, really. You unbanned him. Be nice and don't make the mods ban you. You're a nicer person than me, Akuna. The XP is flying, boys. Seems pretty quick to level up on Penitent. Uber Tomb Lord is coming. At this point, Blizzard should actually just go all in and make Uber Tomb Lord. Like, I'm not even trolling. If Rax or mods bans you, you probably deserve it. There's like 2 schools of thought on that, Makuna. There are there's a lot of people that think that I am a tyrant and I will ban anyone for everything and I'm an insecure weenie. And there's other people that think that I'm very nice and you have to commit a cardinal sin to get banned, so... I don't know, I'm definitely willing to ban people, but I also don't ever wake up and crack my knuckles and be like, alright, how many people am I gonna ban today? Dude, I just get 2 cursed wells in the same dungeon? God, I love life. Scooter, what's up, buddy? Dude, you're almost at 5 years. You almost have the diamond hoodie. That's insane. We can't tolerate this dictatorship regime. You want to know what I think of every time I hear dictator? I think of PoE 1 crafting. Because how do you craft a Valax? The way you can remember how to craft a Valax in PoE 1 is what's the best thing to have at Thanksgiving. Mashed potatoes with dick in it, right? That's what everybody wants. Dictators. You're literally never gonna forget how to craft a Valax. Yeah, dick. Wiener? Yeah. Dictators. I will never not think of PoE 1 crafting when I hear dictators. Because dictators is the name of the affix where you get tier 1 hybrid physical damage on a Valax. Because the hybrid physical damage is the hardest one to craft onto the item, so you'd have to naturally recombinate dictators onto your Valax. Guys, don't even pretend. Like, don't deny it. Come on, dude. Don't make it weird. Dictators, we all know it, we all love it. Facts. I'll never forget how to craft a Valax in PoE 1. Dictators. Getting a little spicy over here, isn't it, boys? I've got to unbind that. I have to unbind that button. Okay, now we almost have enough to do the whisper. Maybe the whisper. Let's see. How do I go back to the overworld? Oh yeah, my season journey. Yeah. Here's the map. Here's Sanctuary. So I just need a real quick one. Find the corpse. Wait, it's literally right outside here, right? Do I not like the map hack? Oh, I do. I just picked I didn't even put skills for my mercenary, guys. Didn't have an oath, didn't have skills for my mercenary. So let's see here. Okay, let's turn this in. Oh, wait. What? That leveled me to 60? How? Wasn't I only halfway through 59? How did that... What? How am I already... Oh, I got a multi-kill? Oh. Okay, well, this build on Penitent always had great damage. My defense was questionable at best. So, I think an improvement would be... I think I need to take this node right here. On guard. I also need to try leveling his Blessed Shield. Which one do you guys think is better, hammers or Blessed Shield for leveling? I just took this generator to apply vulnerable. Wing Strike Hammer. Wing Strike. Wingaling. What's Wing Strike? Is that an Arbiter's Wing Strike? This thing? You can have this up permanently with the Oath. Oh? So you take this to keep up Wingaling. You take this to... So we need a Disciple skill with a cooldown. Oh, it just has a Disciple tag. Wait. Oh, Blessed Hammer doesn't have a cooldown. Let's see. We need a Disciple skill. Let's look for a keyword, Disciple. Go with Falling Star or Condemn. Condemn is Disciple. 15-second cooldown. Yeah, so we just load up every Disciple skill we possibly can. We rotate them to keep this up, and then we just use Wingaling. Do we take Seraph's Wings? I mean, this seems insane. Movement speed. Not even double damage. Triple damage? Triple damage and vulnerable? Yo, this seems like it's like cheating, isn't it? So then, do you take Exaltation for your key passive then? This seems giga broken. I'm glad I didn't try that. I'm glad I didn't try to do this ultimate thing, because if I would have, it would have probably just... I mean, my build is already pretty good, but... So, you take this, you take the 2 disciple skills. I don't suppose... You probably don't even need a generator, but these 2 are disciple skills, and then we need... Do we take... Probably take some auras then? Whoa! Wow. All right. I might try a new leveling thing tomorrow. And how did I level up? I didn't even do anything. No, they nerfed Diablo 4 so much you level up standing still. I just went to Paragon 3 somehow. I didn't even do anything. You don't take the yellow aura, but the yellow aura is so fun. That's the one that burns them when they're near you, right? You probably don't need it, though, with that damage. What's the point of leveling if they're going to change everything for, in a week? Well, it is true that I will be leveling in the campaign, and it is true that the skill tree will be different, but we're just going through the reps here. Then I need to understand what will be my top priorities. Like, I need to make a warlock planner, and then I guess, what do? Do you farm in Torment 1 to get your gear? Farm in T1 to get some basic gear and some greater affixes, get the right stuff. After the trailer, how optimistic am I for the expansion? I'll tell you, I think the expansion is just going to make the game better. I haven't heard anything in the expansion where I'm like, that's worse. You're making Diablo 4 worse. So, I don't know. Everything I think they're adding is going to make the game better. How much better? Like, how interested are the die-hard ARPG fans going to be to play this game for an extended period of time? Do not know. I won't know until I play it, but it's definitely going to make the game better. Optimism and D4 don't go together. That's funny. Greetings from Finland. Hello. Love that there's people from all over the globe here. Love that, man. How hard is it to get unique items in this game? Not hard. As far as I know, last time I played, the bosses have like a tendency to drop certain uniques if you need them. People said PoE 2 is a simple game if you follow a guide, but you made 4 characters and you couldn't get past 78. I got 2 words for you. Does anybody know the 2 words I'm going to tell him? He's made 4 characters and he can't get past level 78. I got 2 words for you. Get good? No, that's not what I was. Exactly. I got 2 words for you. Plant Daddy. Make Plant Daddy. You're going to hit 78 and you're just going to soar past it. Trust me.
12 months, 12 inches, life is good.
Jizzerin. Sub for 12 months. 12 months, 12 inches, life is good. They don't call him Jizzerin for nothing. What does that mean? It means follow my plant daddy guide in PoE 2. You will win. It's impossible to not win. All right, guys, I'm going to hang it up here. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thanks for being great people. Makuna was here. I love that. Achilles is here. Rax, the podcast today was awesome. Oh, a lot of you guys watched the podcast. Lit. Thank you, man. I'm glad you liked it. Guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make the best Warlock build we possibly can. And then when we think we've min-maxed it as much as possible, then we're going to open Makuna's stream. And if he found out anything godlier than I figured out, we're just going to steal it and we're just going to pretend like I came up with it, okay? He'll never know. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we might do theory. Tomorrow might be a theory crafting stream. Figure some things out. Nice. Woody's on. Let's raid him. It's about time I throw Woody some more raids. Is D4 worth trying if PoE is too hard? D4 is much easier than PoE 2. Yes. You're going to do that too? Okay. As long as, if we all do it, we can't all be committed to the same crime, right? As long as we all do it, we'll be fine. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a good one.